The school system in Denmark is a part of our welfare system. It is for free to go to school, and from 1st grade to 9th grade it is mandatory. And it's also mandatory to get a school leaving certificate. In Denmark we have the possibility to go to private school. You just have to pay to be there. We can also go to a boarding school and take 9th grade and 10th grade. You live on the boarding school for 1 year. You can also take 10th grade on a private or public school.
After municipal, primary and lower secondary school, you can go on further studies to improve your academic skills. In Denmark we have a widely selective of these. The first one is STX, aka high school. STX is the education that opens up to most of the further academic studies. To begin with, you pick different courses and study lines to match your skills and interests. STX lasts for 3 years and is finished by several examinations. When you're done, you get to wear a hat that symbolizes your new status as a student. The next one is HF. HF is almost the same as STX. Again, you have to pick your own courses to match your wishes for further studies. The biggest difference between STX and HF is the time it takes to finish. HF only lasts for 2 years. HTX. HTX is focusing on subjects like math, physics, and chemistry. It opens up to especially the scientific lines and subjects at the universities. HTX takes 3 years to finish. And then there's HHX. HHX takes 3 years to finish. This education is specialized in economics and finances. HHX is a great opportunity if you want to work within the financial world or run your very own company. The last one is SELF. SELF offers a lot of different opportunities for the non-academic studies like baker, cook, workman, and so on. The time it takes to finish the education depends on what you're studying. Afterwards, you can go on different kinds of universities and take a profession bachelor if you want to.
How does upper secondary education pass off? We have different kinds of upper secondary educations, but I'll only talk about ours. An upper secondary education, like the one that we are passing through at the moment, is called STX. It is a normal upper secondary education which lasts for 3 years. And here on STX you can choose a line of education of own choice, but not completely your own, because there are some compulsory subjects like Danish, history, mathematics, and social studies. There are different lines of educations, but we will only take a look at the one that we have chosen. The line of education we are passing through are called social studies, English, and mathematics. And the 3 years of education is lined up like this. The first year of the education is split up in 2 semesters, here and here. In both of the semesters of the first year you have a creative subject, which in my case was music. You can choose between music, drama, media studies, and art studies. In the second semester of the first year, you start your language, second language. The second year you don't have any creative subjects, and if you like me have chosen German as your second language, you will finish it at the end of the second year. In the third year there are a lot less subjects, because you have exams every year. Not many exams, but a few. Therefore, you have less subjects in the third year. It's very difficult to tell who gets which education, but by looking at these graphs you can see a pattern anyway. At the first graph that tells about who gets which upper secondary education, you can see that 61.4% of the students on the general upper secondary schools are girls. That means that only 38.6% is boys at these educations. You can see the same pattern at HF, where 57.4% is girls, more than half of the students. Contrary, 75.8%
8% or over 3/4 of the students at HTX is boys. The second graph shows the accession of students on 65 long higher educations. Here you can see that there are more girls on these educations. At the same time, you can see that the number of students on these educations are increasing. The next graph tells something about the 25-year-old without an ongoing or finished education divided between parents' background. This graph shows that the student's choice of education depends on their parents' education level. The longer education the parents have, the lower is the 25-year-old's dropout rate. At last, we can conclude that there in Denmark are more girls on STX HF, the more common upper secondary education, and the long higher educations. On HTX, the more specialized upper secondary education, there are more boys. Furthermore, there is a tendency that the parents' education background has a huge influence on the children's education.
Some of the values in the upper secondary school are that every student has the opportunity to become whatever he or she wants, but still some educations require a special set of skills. A great value in our school is the social life. We have a lot of activities to get together socially. For example, it is a tradition for new students to rent a cottage a whole weekend where they party and get to know each other better. Every class also get the opportunity to travel on a study trip. Our class, for example, are going to visit you guys in India. Parties are a big value in upper secondary school life. For us, there are both parties arranged by the group of students in the school, and the classes are also holding private parties.
And then we have a question for you. What are the values in your education?